Question: do you count your beans? I mean, seriously, do you count your beans? Let's talk about it. Back in a minute. Good morning, good morning. This is Jan from New York City. My channel name is Jan from New York City Saves Money. Welcome to the Instant Coffee with Jan show. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope you're having a bright and beautiful morning, no matter what the weather may be. I had a question for you, wanted to know, do you count your beans? Now, of course, I don't mean take a bag of beans and sit around and count each and every one of them, although I've never tried that. Has anybody out there ever done that? Just wondering, just wondering. No, but I have always been, despite the fact that math is not my most favorite subject in the world. It really is not. It really is not, especially when they get into the like complicated versions of math. Ooh, oh, no, 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 no. Take it away from me, no. But I do enjoy counting things. Maybe I'm a little OCD and don't know it. But anyway, not a big deal, not a big deal. But it does come in handy when you are trying to control our spending budget on groceries. No, seriously, it does come in absolutely handy. Now, I, at the current time, am a family of one. Now, if I go to the grocery store, for example, and once in a while, I like to have a grilled cheese sandwich, especially since I work from home. It's very economical. I enjoy them. It's cheap. It's fast. It's easy. I do mine in the air fryer. So talk about fast and easy, but that's another show. Now, if I know that I use, for example, 2 slices of, let's say, American cheese product or whatever brand it is, I want to know in advance, for example, how many slices are in a pack. Why? That way I know ahead of time how many grilled cheese sandwiches I'm going to get out of that package for the month. Now, if you're a family of one and you only have one grilled cheese sandwich, however, I like to put 2 slices of the cheese on the sandwich. I don't think that's too much to ask for, right? So, for example, many packages are sold in slices of either 12 or 24 of those American cheese slices, okay? I do prefer, honestly, I mean, I'm not going to lie, maybe years ago I'd buy more of that individually wrapped one, the one that melts very well, but they're not the greatest. I like to honestly get an upgraded version, but I still want to know how many slices are in that package, okay? If I could get the better one on sale, all the better. For example, but let's go back to the basic orange cheese that's wrapped in plastic slices that everyone is familiar with. This is just for mathematical purposes only. Just saying, just saying. Okay. And if you enjoy them, I mean, hey, it's your preference. Okay. So 12 slices in the typical American cheese packet, right? That means for me, if I only have one grilled cheese sandwich per capita, no, that's a goof, one grilled cheese sandwich per week, then I know that I'm going to get 6 sandwiches out of that package because it's a pack of 12. So I'm already ahead of the game because that leaves me with 2 extra sandwiches or 4 extra slices of cheese. For example, I might, decide to make a cheese omelet. By the way, omelets are really, really good economical lunch, dinner, or breakfast. That's one of those meals that really there is no label for. So if you enjoy a good omelet, put in whatever you want, dress it up, dress it down, use cheese, use vegetables, use whatever you have, potatoes, stretch it out. An omelet, a good quality, well-made omelet or frittata is a wonderful, wonderful meal. Sorry, I got off topic there, but you could count those too. That's the truth. Now let's go back to a dozen eggs. Hello. How many eggs are in a dozen eggs? Oh, gee, let me think about this. Oh, don't think too long. We all know it's 12. So let's say that you have a dozen eggs for the week. Okay, let's say that you enjoy to eat a couple of eggs a day. And actually, I have heard experts say it's not the end of the world if you have one or even two eggs a day. Hello, people are more concerned about the sugar content than protein. But that, I'm not a doctor. I'm not advocating anything either way. But let's say you have 12 eggs and you usually make a 2 egg omelet right off the bat. That's guaranteed 6 omelets, okay? Right off the bat. Now, suppose you only use 1 egg per day. You are set for 12 days. With like, if you, okay, there are 2 ways that I like to box up my eggs. What am I saying by that? For example, 1 egg, 1 box of eggs, I like to use in recipes. The other, like, let's say if I needed to make some sort of a bread or a cake, that's separately for that. But the other ones I like to reserve for like a meal, like scrambled eggs, omelets, hard boiled egg. You see where I'm going with this. But again, the bean counting system. Hello. Now, at the beginning of the week, I personally, Janet, love to boil, let's say 6 eggs for the week. Well, what do I want to do that for? Very easily. Very easily. And I mentioned that in a past video too. I like to have them. Let's say I'm really totally tied up. I refuse to spend a lot of money on outside breakfast or anything like that, but I'm extremely busy. What's the big deal? I made my hard boiled eggs are a big deal. I take it out of the refrigerator and I add a little salt and pepper after I peel it off because I like to keep the shell on. It keeps it longer, fresher, in my opinion. Put a pinch of salt and pepper on. That's the only time I only use ever salt on an egg, actually, is when I, for example, have it as a hard boiled egg. Don't ask me why. It's just, I don't know. It's just like a thing, whatever. So anyway, so I'll just yank that out of the refrigerator. I have my hard boiled egg. And if I want, I could have like a banana or an apple. I am done. There's my breakfast. No cooking involved. Bean counter Janet knows if I make a half a dozen of those eggs for 6 days during the week, I could swap it out as a quick lunch. Like, for example, an egg either with a piece of fruit or an egg with a piece of cheese if I want to go, like totally protein on it or whatever. This is why it's important to become, as I call, a bean counter. So I don't have to buy too many things and keep that other money that I put to the side for other usages. All right. So it's really, really important to know, where you're going with that. Now, let's talk about canned soups, for example. Okay. Now, when I was a kid, I don't know if it's my imagination or from the eyes of a child, that Campbell's soup, I'm just going to give you an example there. Campbell's soup seems to be, everything seems to have shrunk over time. But I think you could have gotten more servings out of 1 can of soup back then. I'm not sure. I don't have a can in front of me. But I still think that if you're careful, you could get at least 2 servings out of 1 can. So you put in a little bit more water or a little bit of milk or cream to stretch the old soup, for example, like tomato soup. Just, heat up your tomato soup, put in the instruction can of water, maybe add a little pinch, like a cup of milk or something, or butter, something in there to stretch the flavor more people could have. And here's a trick. Speaking of bean counting, we have gotten so accustomed to humongous mugs, to humongous bowls. I mean, I look back, I even did a whole video on this a while back. I did a whole audio show about this quite a while back in the spring, about how cup sizes are like so huge today. It's almost like a bit much. If you could get, or fine, like go to like a thrift store and get some of the vintage cups and saucers. Everything there is so smaller. Everything there is so much smaller. Smaller cups, smaller mugs will stretch your soup, stretch your meals, better for the waistline. We have just gotten so absolutely used to way too much. So here's my tip for today. And by the way, read your instant coffee labels, depending on the size of the jar. I mean, some jars you could get literally like 100 cups of coffee out of for like $8 or $4. It depends on what you're getting. It depends, the sale, whatever. You need to read the label. And also, hopefully, if you enjoy instant coffee, the reason why I enjoy it is not just for the price. I have always been a fan of instant coffee. I like both, but I'm not going to spend that extra money if I still do enjoy instant coffee, because I know predictably what my cup of coffee will taste like. Where the other types of coffee, to me, it's like I'm taking a chance. But that's my experience with the coffee. Everybody's situation is different. Hey, listen, wishing everybody an amazing upcoming day and do whatever you can. Count and see, if you're really utilizing everything to the max. If you could stretch it even more, that's even the better. Have an amazing day, everybody. Take good care. Bye bye.